What up, people? It's your boy Snow and Ramon in the house. Ignorant Gamerz. Today is a special day. What'd you say? Might not just be for this one thing alone that we're about to talk about, just in general. It's a lot of stuff that was announced today.
It's a good day.
It's a good day.
It's a good day.
But we're gonna talk about the one thing that we're recording this video for. Gran Turismo 6 was announced today. Holiday 2013 for the PS3. Now I know a lot of people are wondering, like, oh, why it's not the P4 and blah blah blah, yada yada, etc. etc. But before we get to that part, you seen the trailer? Have you seen the trailer? You seen the trailer?
I seen the trailer.
You seen the trailer? I seen the trailer. Did you see the trailer before that though? The live action one?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about that one second, but let's talk about the trailer that we seen today.
Was that a trailer? Did they call it a trailer?
They called it a trailer.
Okay.
They called it the Gran Turismo 6 announcement trailer.
Okay.
Thoughts? Real quick.
Not feeling it.
Same here. This guy is a sim expert. I'm just a motherfucker that like a drive and crash. He ain't feeling it. I'm not feeling it. But he's not feeling it more because this guy is actually a GT fan, a Forza fan. He's a sim racer fan. He had some complaints, some issues that was happening between GT5, the prologue, and then the actual GT5 game when it was released. And it is a general complaint with the cult following of the Gran Turismo thing, but they still play the game because they love it. So really quickly, give the people the overview of why you're not feeling the trailer.
I feel like Gran Turismo is stuck in time. So 1, 2, 3, best games you could ever play in your life. Forza comes around, good, not Gran Turismo good. At that time I had hopped ship. I was already on Xbox.
Right.
But Gran Turismo was the only game that would ever make me buy a PlayStation.
Right.
Period. That was my Halo.
Okay.
That was the hardware seller for me.
Right.
Gran Turismo 4 came out after like some ridiculously long period of time. Because 3 was damn near launch title.
Yeah.
4 was like, are they going to make a 4? People were like, wait, what's going on here?
Right.
By that time, Forza had a foothold. Forza was already on like 2.
Right.
And they had, remember, the Xbox Live thing was already a strong point. Forza was going. I was a Forza fan naturally because I was an Xbox guy.
Right.
But I was, like I said, I look back on that Gran Turismo like, okay, 4 was okay. 4 was okay. Looked better than Forza. Played better than Forza. But it wasn't as much fun.
Right.
Mainly because of the online aspect.
Okay. And Xbox enforces that.
Right.
Especially for a car game.
Right. Forza 3 dropped. People was like, whoa, this is it. There was like, again, that long period between Gran Turismo 4 and 5 was like unbearable.
Right.
And then they dropped Prologue, which was like a wild disrespect.
Right.
It was a demo that they charged $30 for. It was obviously an incomplete game.
Right.
With nothing to it.
Right.
And then what made it worse is when you got your hand on Prologue, you were like, this is it?
Right.
Because Forza had already upped the ante.
Right.
You could send cars, you can gift cars to people. You can buy cars used from Gran Turismo, but online.
Right.
You can send tunes to people.
Right.
Send replay. It was like a whole different experience at this point. Like,
right. So this basically brought the community aspect to the core games of this game.
Community was solid.
Right.
And Prologue was just okay.
Right.
I had a PSP. I bought the PSP specifically for Gran Turismo. Because when, I don't know if you remember, when the trailers for the PSP came out,
Okay.
When when they first announced the PSP, they had all these videos they were showing. A lot of that was Gran Turismo videos.
True.
And I went and got my PSP day one from JNR Musical. Never complained. It wasn't until the last dying months of PSP did you see a Gran Turismo. And IGN gave that shit like a 4.
Right.
At that point, it was like, nah.
Right.
And I wasn't vested in the series like the cult was.
Right.
I'm just a fan that just happened to find something different.
Right.
I wouldn't say better, different.
Right.
And I was pissed.
Right.
I was disappointed. I can't imagine how those dudes feel.
Right.
Now, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Prologue, then 5 came out.
Right.
5 was a complete disappointment. Looked good, yeah. Had hundreds of cars, but it was still the same
cars,
thing.
Right.
It's like you give me 1,000 cars, and only a handful of them got in cockpit view.
The premium, right?
Then you can't tune like Forza.
Right.
You can't like customize the car like Forza. You can't slap a paint job from scratch like Forza.
Right.
So these were things they were missing in Gran Turismo 5 that Forza 4 had really banged out.
Right.
Like solidified at this point.
Right, right.
And it was like, yo, whatever you say, Forza was a better package. Even Gran Turismo fans couldn't deny it.
Right.
People playing Gran Turismo play Gran Turismo because
they're cult.
That's their thing.
Right. And it's not a bad thing.
No.
Because they enjoy it. The game is still beautiful. Some of the things that they fixed, some of the complaints of fixing was fixed. And then there was the question of adding things, which is where you come from. Like they didn't add the community aspect. Yeah, they had an online mode, but they didn't have a robust one. No. There's no leaderboards in that game, is it?
In what, 5?
In 5.
I think there is.
Is it?
I think it's very minimum though. And the thing that's crazy, this is so asinine, but I gotta say it. I feel like the interface, the home screen, still the most retarded shit I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen that recently. It is pretty extensive.
Like, goddamn, change that.
It's like it's all over the place. There's so much stuff going on.
Still to this day, like, and this little shit, like, come on, you guys are killing me. Still, there's no reason, like, what, it takes you 2 weeks to come up with a new menu design?
Right.
Really?
Even Medal of Honor Warfighter was able to tweak their design a little bit.
On the fly.
Right.
You can hire a Flash designer and get that shit fixed for $500. Come on.
Right. So, back to the trailer, or the announcement as a whole, they didn't really say much. They said that there will be a demo in July. They said that the game will be available holiday 2013. And that this is the 15th anniversary, so E3. And there's going to be more information at E3. And I remember reading something about with the 1,200 confirmed cars, that there will also be like new tracks and DLC support for this game going forward as well. Okay. So that's probably a few great takeaways for the GT6 fans, but I know that a lot of the concerns is based off some of the things that you just said. Right. Now, we spoke about this a little lightly earlier. You also said about the custom paint jobs where someone was just able to just sit there and just do a perfection job. That's all he did.
That's all he did.
Is just do paint jobs.
You know Rodimus.
Yes.
That's what he does.
Right.
So he'll read a magazine, he'll see a car, a paint job, and he'll do it in Forza.
Right.
That's it. He did an IGZ car. That Audi that I drive.
Who did the LD car? With the face on it?
Rod. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
there's that's an aspect, and I don't mean specifically painting, but that's an aspect that's missing from Gran Turismo. The ability for you as a personality or a gamer to find something in the game that you like and stick with it.
Right.
Other than time trials.
Right.
It just doesn't happen like that.
And getting back to the press release, they did say that there's going to be a lot of enhancements made to the features, and one of them was the interface that they mentioned that.
Right.
The other thing that they mentioned was, like I said, the stunning tracks and the cars.
They always did that
over the user interface to try to bring new levels of the real driver simulator, and that's not my quotes, that's their quotes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that maybe during this time, they might have heard and did some research and development on, like, okay, well, this game over here, you know, is doing this, but here's what the people are saying, that the cult people are saying about our game. It's boring. People say that the game is boring. I'm of a firm belief that a simulator game is going to be boring, but end of the day, it's still a game. You still have to give them something to do. And I do know that they said they're going to increase the social functions of Gran Turismo 6.
Yo, they had 10 years to do that. I don't think they can. I don't think they get it.
Okay.
Some people just got formulas, and I don't think they understand how that works.
Right.
And mind you, this team comes from a pedigree where they didn't believe in social to begin with.
Right.
Remember, they're part of
that's
that
like
real
that's like
core
Mark Zuck
Sony.
and not like in music.
Right.
Right.
Their part, Polyphony,
Mm-hmm.
is a very small part of that core Sony team that was outright against online gaming on consoles.
Right.
Remember back in the PS2?
Right.
That they backed
game,
up that team like, nah, if you want online gaming, get a PC.
Right.
I don't think they get it. It's just not something they get.
Right. I don't know. I mean, the Gran Turismo has had a very loyal community. This guy has jumped on Xbox and is still somewhat loyal to Gran Turismo. Like, he wants to see it do well.
You have to be. It's the ultimate, though. That's the thing.
Right. You know, and it's going to be interesting to see what information leaks out before E3 happens.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be great on E3 when they start talking about the game and saying, like, listen, we know we've been kind of hard on this before. Look, that's changing.
But all right, so right off the bat, where I lose faith, right? 1,200 cars for what?
I saw that and I raised a flag
what?
too. When I did my homework on the game, I saw that people were saying, like, yo, okay, you got all these cars, but like 90% of them look like they came from PS2.
And it's crazy, like, not even the old car versus new car thing. Forza had about 400 cars that you can tune.
Right.
Endless amount of ways.
Right.
That you can then slap a paint job on.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Those 400 cars worked, and they all had in-dash view.
Right.
Here they come with 1,200 cars, it's like, okay, overload.
Right.
Now what?
Right.
I have 1,200 cars, the game is still boring as shit. And the online play is the most lackluster shit I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Gran Turismo Online feels like something from PlayStation 2. I swear to God.
Yeah. It felt like
it's like,
on.
Like, holy shit. Like, you guys are kidding me with that.
Right.
So, I don't have... And, again, it's not the simulator part of it that I'm worried about. Mm-hmm. The ultimate driving sim. No, I believe you. You got clout.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
It's not the graphic part of it. We see leaves all over the shit.
Right. You see the leaves just falling.
It's Gran Turismo. You can do that. Gran Turismo 3, if you've ever been to GameStop and they got the little screen showing with the game replay, Gran Turismo 3 when it first came out, you're like, you know, you always look close like, is that the game?
Or is that like a, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they always had that ability, and that was Gran Turismo 3.
And that's PS2.
It got better with 4.
Mm-hmm.
It got better with 5.
Mm-hmm.
Graphics is not the problem. The problem is everything else around the package that they continue to miss. They haven't... The sign you said about, what is it, the DLC?
Yeah.
Maybe they get it.
Right.
That's a good sign.
And that's saying, like, after, like, this future DLC beginning after launch.
Right.
Like, so it's already going to be on the steamroll.
But all they had to do was dial back the 1,200 cars and save that.
Mm-hmm.
One up Forza. Forza comes out with 5 strategic cars per DLC.
Right.
You can come out with 20.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it'll still work.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's... I don't know. I'm so skeptical about the shit around this game.
You know what was the other number one complaint that I heard other than the multiplayer and the expansion of the customization, the trading feature that was removed from Gran Turismo and all this other stuff, was the sound. So I remember I read one comment. It was like, yo, if you could make the game not sound like vacuums.
Yes, the sound is a little off.
Okay.
And I mean...
It's not a terrible sound.
No, it's not.
Being that I don't play that game, I remember the research that went into the game where they was recording every damn car sound.
Yes, and
then something must have happened when they took it off and added it to the game. Something must have happened with the processor, the compressor, or whatever.
You play games like Need for Speed.
Oh my god, that sounds great.
Need for Speed because other than maybe Grid,
Right.
Need for Speed probably is the best sounding racing game out there.
That game sounds amazing.
And Forza sounds good.
Right.
But the reason I say Need for Speed is because you can tell what stage turbo somebody's running.
Right.
Based on the blow-off valve, how the blow-off valve sounds. You can tell what kind of pipe they're running. One big-ass pipe, they got dual pipe. You can tell these things in those Need for Speed games. I remember Gran Turismo 2 running that Supra. When you run it and you put the you look backwards, you can hear the turbo go. Well, the blow-off valve.
Right.
And then you hear the turbo spooling.
Right.
This is in Gran Turismo 2.
Right.
Slowly but surely, they got away from those niceties. And this is where, like, Forza gets a lot of that.
Right.
Your car sounds different based on supercharger, turbo, based on a lot of forced induction work or a lot of breathing work or you just cams. You can tell what somebody's running in Forza.
Right.
You've got a race, a lineup of 12 Civics. All 12 Civics sound different.
Right.
Gran Turismo, not so much.
Right.
That's the problem.
Okay.
I mean, you can hear VTEC in Gran Turismo and it's there, yes. But they don't do enough. And I mean, when you racing, let me tell you, you get lost in these games, these racing games, when you crank the volume up. And Gran Turismo is primed for that.
Right.
It's a driving simulator, especially if you got that wheel. All they needed was that sound aspect.
Right.
So hopefully they get it right. I don't know.
All right. Well, to be determined. We'll see what E3 brings us in June, which is pretty much a month away. And
my bad. Still ranting.
Okay.
This is why I have no faith again. Trailer came out. No gameplay footage. I want to make this clear.
Okay.
It's actual game footage because it's all replays.
Right.
But there's no gameplay footage.
Like a straight up gameplay.
They said what's next or next up, whatever they said.
Right.
And then showed nothing. That to me shows they don't get it. Tell me you've got some crazy modes. You've seen Grid 2.
The Grid 2 trailers.
They hyped the hell out of everything in that game.
Every little nook and cranny was hyped up, right? And we will see what it is when it comes out.
This Gran Turismo joint come out, and all they show me is cutscenes, replays that we've been seeing since Gran Turismo 3, 4, 5. All those cars that they showed us could have been in 5. I don't know. I didn't expect all 1,000 cars.
Right.
I can't tell the difference between that trailer and Gran Turismo 5. That's a problem. What's the point of the trailer?
Right.
What are you showing me? What's new? I have no idea.
Alright. Holler at us in the comments below. Are you ready for the GT6? Are you playing GT5? Did you binge jump out? Why'd you leave? What'd you play when you left? Let us know.
Donkey Kong.
Holler at us. IGZ out.